10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Hey,
1.
John.
Hey.
Just going now.
All we're gonna sing is the word higher, okay? And we're gonna do it to the tune of the Red Baron.
I'll take the stairway to heaven. I'm sky high when I die. Oh, come on, can I catch? The toll of the bell of the 6 months in hell. Out of the trenches they came. Oh, 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 oh. Service of heaven, they're protecting the holy line. It was 1520s. The years of hell, the great way to hell, to the last light. The concert elite, want to compete, never retreat. Live or dead, always ahead, led by your dread. British pagans, marching us so. Washing my heart for the hammer of war. Out from Oxford, king of the ocean, he was made to rule the waves across the 7 seas.
Good evening and good golly, Miss Molly. Welcome to that 70s rock fan channel in the first of our new day and time slot, Wednesday nights, this time every week from now on. And I'm so glad about that because a number of people, including our great friend John, is able to make it as a result. What I'd like to say before we go any further is it is Halloween tomorrow, and I did dress up as your favorite shield maiden, Pippi Shortstocking. So, in honor of our Scandinavian friends, Sabaton, I am in the mood.
To rock,
is
obviously.
Rock. Is anyone else in the mood?
Are you one of the Swedish pagans?
I am one of those Swedish pagans. I am somewhere between a Swedish pagan and a shield maiden in the middle.
Wow, that's great, Brian. That's great. That's
This is so. I'm not going to be wearing this for long because my head is itching and hot already. But happy Halloween, everybody!
What is going on?
I gotta go big on this. I gotta go big. There you go.
You gotta go big on it. He even went with the war paint too.
I went with the war paint, the cross.
There we go.
Except, why if they're pagans? Why would they have a cross? But I don't know. Carolus Rex. But
Yeah.
So that's your. We came for Pippi. Tim says, "Who cares? We came for Pippi Shortstocking." Wasn't vigilante? Wasn't prepped for trans. Like,
Oh my God!
nobody's ever prepped for trans Vikings.
No one ever
prepared.
Vikings.
That's right.
So I'll see how long I can hold on to this because it's itchy. Who see when you've been bald for 30 years, this is what happens. Hair makes you itch.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody to this show tonight about the what can you say about this band? Are they possibly the most popular metal band around in recent years?
Yeah.
They're certainly in the top
I would
five.
imagine.
Number one.
I know my stepson loves them, and he's played me a few songs. And
Yeah.
I thought it was funny you showed up as Viking because that's what it reminds me of. This is what Vikings would sound like if they were playing metal music. You know.
Well, indeed. And tonight we are talking about the mighty, mighty Swedish metal band Sabaton on this year of their 25th anniversary. I want to look at that T-shirt John's wearing, if I can see it right there. The 25th anniversary T-shirt. Awesome. That is beautiful. That is a thing of beauty, and so is the T-shirt.
Oh, look at that! It's got the soldier on it too. On
That
the
is
back.
awesome,
Yeah,
man.
this is actually the War Ain't All Wars. It's the 25th anniversary of that too, but
Oh, right, yeah.
it's still part of the same tour. I bought a 25th anniversary shirt, but it's a little snug, so I didn't wear it.
All right, okay. I know what you mean. A few of my T-shirts are like that. But yes, I mean, what can we say about this wonderful band? We're going to get into a bit of the members, the history, the albums, our favorite songs, a couple of video clips, not too many because they're very copyrighty happy. And I mean, what can you say about a band that makes an entire album about a 16th century king reforming the Swedish army? I mean, what more can you say? That's pure metal right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just, it's a band that I have to thank, first of all, my great friend Pope. How are you, Pope?
Doing great, man.
Yeah.
It's an interesting change being on here, a later time, but I can't wait to talk about these guys.
Yeah. Well, you turned me onto them, and then John started talking about them. So you were the one that said, hey, if you're looking for some decent modern metal, but still with classic metal roots, this is the band to listen to. And you got me hooked. It's like a drug. You got me hooked. So much
like I said backstage, like the second I heard them, I think within a week I owned most of their discography, and I own all of it now. It's one of only two bands I can say that about. Them and Judas Priest are the only two I own the entire discography.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
It's pretty much the case that I think I've got everything, including symphonic stuff and the extra tracks that were in singles. I'm probably missing some stuff. I might not have all the live albums, but yeah, you turned me onto them, and I will be externally grateful for that. So welcome to you, Pope. Welcome to Joe, who obviously has some familial connection with the band, as you were saying.
Yeah. My stepson David, who is a big time metalhead, turned me on to them, and they make some great music, man. I don't collect music like the rest of you do, but I listen to a lot of it. And Dad's always been the music guy, and I've always been the movie guy, But yeah, music. I tell you what, watching that montage at the beginning of it, I had never seen them. I had heard them, but I'd never seen them.
Well, they're fine.
The friggin' commando pants they're wearing, the snow camo pants. I love them. That's badass.
The image is Sabaton have a fantastic image, fantastic stage sets, always have a distinctive look. Yeah. I mean, they're a good looking bunch of guys.
Well, the thing I am noticing that there's a lot of war stuff going on in their lyrics and in their presentation and everything. That they're warriors. That's what they're coming up like.
They write a lot of their music's about the First and Second World War.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
even if you weren't into the music, the history alone is enough to get some people into them. They're history fanatics, they're military history fanatics, and they're also extremely supportive of the troops and the common soldiers of all the eras. They are Vikings. They are indeed. So welcome everyone in the chat. Good to see you all on this new time slot. We'll see if it's better or worse for people. Earlier on, our great friend Matt was around. Then the Winged Hussars arrived. Yes. Tim is here. Here to Brian the Welshman. Get out of here. Davina. Or Davinia, we'll call her Davinia because that's what Culture Casino calls her. Davinia is here. Good to see you. 11 Alpha, who will be asking everyone for their favorite songs and albums as we go. We'll try and keep track of that. An early vote for Winged Hussars and Last Stand. Also, hi all. Well, hi to you. Jack Stafford with a great ahoy, all ye scallywags and fair maidens. I think he might be talking more about Ailstorm.
Right? Yeah. The pirate band.
That'll be for another day, but that's another fantastic band.
They are, man. I got
Scottish as
turned
well.
on to them accidentally. I was listening to a sea shanty, Barrett's Privateers. I saw the word privateer in the title and I listened to it, and then I searched for it again and I came across Ailstorm doing the same damn song. And it was
They
pretty
also have
damn
a song
cool.
that if Scotland ever has their own navy, will be their anthem, being F with
Hey,
an
we
anchor.
used to, the
Yeah.
British Navy was all Scots, as was the Army and Air Force and the Marines, and they were all Scots.
Right?
The
Oh,
Scots
James
built-
Bond's a Scotsman.
We
Come
built
on.
the empire. Maybe we're the ones who are throwing it away too. I don't know. But, thank you, Joe, for the raid, by the way, and welcome to Vince.
No problem, man. I couldn't
Los-
set up that instant thing. I'll have
Yeah.
to get somebody to walk me through it, but
Don't worry about
I
it.
did put the link up and tell everybody to get over here.
Thanks, mate. Low Spec is here. Good to see you. Jack Stafford. If I miss anybody, forgive me. Vigilante, we mentioned earlier, is here. Good to see you, mate. It wasn't prep for trans. Yes. Streamlabs is here. Good to see Streamlabs. Courtney says she's logging on now. Hey, I'll count every viewer I can get, even if it's a bot. 11 Alpha, we mentioned Superior Nav. Great to see you. Yes, as I say, if I forget, Soul Assassin, Pope. Yes, Pope, you did a fantastic Sabaton stream.
Yeah, that was one of the earlier shows I did. That was probably what, 2 years ago now. And we only did the more recent half of their discography. I'll have to go back and do the first half.
Oh, good
But
idea, mate.
unfortunately, so it won't be on YouTube. I'm having way too much fun over on the Green app, where I can actually play you guys the stuff that we talked
The
about.
music,
So,
yeah,
Indeed.
right. Mm-hmm.
Indeed, it
So
makes a
that-
big difference. Because tonight
so
we'll be
that'll
able
be
to
where I
play a
do this.
couple of clips, but not too many. But anyway, yeah, welcome everyone. We're already getting some suggestions. Soul Assassin likes Visions of Atlantis. Nice pick. Slightly outside the norm. That's a good one. I'll be talking about
What I
my
always like
favorite
is
ones.
the deep cuts on here are just as good as the popular stuff.
Well, indeed. And I think I'm starting to become too attractive to Soul Assassin. Right. I got to take this off because it's too damn hot.
Do it, man. Do it. You did.
Oh,
you did your bid
Jesus.
for King and Country.
I'm leaving the makeup on though. 'cause
There you
I
go.
have no idea how to take makeup off.
Yeah,
I'll probably
that's,
rip my.
that's what Mrs. Rock fans for.
Yeah,
yeah.
well, she'll be asleep by the time this show finishes. So there we go. That's better.
There you
The
go.
face will still. It just looks like I've got a bad sunburn.
Right.
Take it off. Take it all off. So
Yeah.
I was going to open with a joke tonight, and I was so excited about the show I forgot. But I was going to open with a joke that welcome to my first in my series of historical shows about medieval armor. Tonight we're going to spend 3 hours talking about footwear. The Sabaton, indeed.
Yes.
Is that how you pronounce it? Is it really pronounced Sabaton or is it Sabaton?
Yeah, I think it's French.
Okay. Well, there you go. Medieval footwear. Look at this sexy shoes. I like this one. I mean, the fact the toes are turned up like that is, I guess, to put in a stirrup, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, either that or it was to make sure you could ram it up your enemy's arse more effectively. And these ones are pretty wicked.
That seems like it would absolutely suck to get kicked with.
It would, yes.
Come on, bro.
And then this is this is for the richer knight amongst the. Look at the work on that. Look at the
A
embroidery.
lot of flexibility in that one. Looks
Just
like.
the
Beautiful.
workmanship on that is incredible.
Beautiful
So,
plumage.
all those joints that link up that well, like that is just beautiful.
Beautiful plumage. So beautiful plumage. It is. It's beautiful. That it's gorgeous. That stuff. That was what stuff. That stuff lasted 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just hide that on the stream. So let's get started with. Let's get this starty parted. How the frick do I? Oh, there we go. That's it. Well, I get some images open, and we'll talk about this wonderful band that I've grown to love in the last couple of years. Wish I'd been into them years ago. All those years, wasted years, as a certain band might sing. Wasted years. Images. He said.
Well,
There we go.
This is one of those bands that does not have a bad song.
I haven't heard one yet. I mean, there's a couple that are, you would say, well, okay, that's a bit like that, and that's a bit like that, but they're not bad.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything where they've phoned it in, which is the point, you know? Even when you hear the early stuff, which is some of it's a bit more mainstream metal as opposed to historical or military, they were actually really going for it, I think. It was. So, there we go. Let's show that. So let's have a look at these guys. Now, last night on Toxic Tuesday, on Nick's channel, Nick Visor's channel, we were talking about Blade, and Blade wears a very similar jacket to Joachim.
Yeah, sure does. He's got those kind of plates, ab plates and pec plates. Yeah,
indeed. So it could be that he's in the running for the next Blade.
Yeah, never know.
Actually, that's really reminiscent of the comic book Thor.
Yeah. Thor does wear the big button pattern, the two big on the chest and then two smaller ones on the abs. Yeah,
indeed.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a great look, and I don't think he's pretty much always in that on stage in that get up, and what a great bunch they are on stage too. A lot of fun. So formed, and it's as we were saying, it's their 25th anniversary year. I mean, it says online it was December.
Look at this, Judas Priest and them hanging out together. That's wild, man. Yeah, they're touring together, right? That's what you guys saw.
That's where I went to see them in Billings in Montana. Yeah,
that's got to be a crazy moment for Sabaton, who grew up listening to Priest.
Yeah, and
they even covered a couple of their songs.
Jawbreaker was one they covered. Yeah. But that's a great picture, and I managed to sneak in there. That's not Rob Halford, that's me. Well, great. So, 25 years, formed in Falun in Sweden. I think it's up to about like 10 studio albums plus a bunch of live and compilations and some singles, and there's I think it's 10 studio albums though. Not counting the bonus editions in the Swedish, and of course they sing in Swedish and in English. So you can have your Swedish album, you can have your English album.
In fact, their version Corollas Rex is the only album I own two versions of. I own the English version and the Swedish one. It sounds very good, and in a couple of cases the lyrics are actually different.
They do Corollas Rex live in Swedish.
Yeah, that's the one I saw as well, John. They did it in Swedish. It was great. I appreciated it. I like the Swedish stuff. It's fun. Yeah, so I have the Swedish versions of most of them, but I don't play most of them. But Corollas Rex, yes, I do play that one.
The one I always point to is the duality of A Lifetime of War and then Illustrated Krieg of. That actually have different lyrics with the same tune behind them.
Yes, yeah. So it's quite interesting that they would do that. Are the versions just different vocally, or is there music?
They're only different vocally. Musically, they're identical.
Yeah. But it's interesting because Joachim actually is half Czech. So he's Swedish, and he's also a Czech citizen with a Czech passport, because I think his mother was Czech.
Yes.
So he speaks fluent Swedish, fluent Czech, fluent English, probably 6 other languages too.
That's just part of being European these days. Like they all speak 4 or 5 languages.
Yeah. Right. Well, not me. I speak Scottish and English, and that's it.
I talk American. That's about all I can do.
And they're different. Gives a break. Yes, Prima Victoria, through the gates of hell as we make our way through heaven. I always love that track or that album, because that track particularly is about D-Day, is it not?
Yep.
And
that was really the first foray they did into real military history, and it's what blew them up into the band they are now.
Yeah, and they did such justice to the the tales of the common soldier, or sometimes the not so common soldier. And I
That's
actually
what I've
like.
always liked about them is they focus on, the honor and glory and horrors of warfare rather than the political causes and what side won or lost. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
They
and
tell the stories of the men who fought those wars, not what they were about.
which is interesting when you consider like the First and Second World Wars. They do have songs about the German forces. Some
Including
really,
a couple where the Germans are actually the good guys.
Some
like
real
Hard Fire.
yeah, some real bangers. They're not judging, as it were. They're talking about the common experience of the common soldier.
And some countries you wouldn't expect too. Like there's a song about the Brazilian participation in World War II, Smoking Snakes.
Which is not very well known at all.
It was only a couple hundred guys, but they actually, in one instance, proved the absolute deciding factor in a couple of engagements. Died to a man, and the Germans buried them with full military honors.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. So, I mean, Matt says he loves the band. These songs give him chills. It's me too. I actually get, some of them do give me chills as well.
Especially on the first listen to the newer album, the newest album, The War to End All Wars. Soldier of Heaven just sent a chill right up my spine.
Oh, it's a real banger, that one, especially when you watch the video, which brings to life. And their videos are so good. They bring to life the stories, And
Yeah.
that one's quite, there's a bit of a tearjerker, that one. But yeah, so it's estimated online that they've sold something like 2 to 3 million albums, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I suspect it's probably more than that. That's just a low ball, but
That's probably just the physical album sales. These days, digital is everything, and I guarantee if you counted all that, they would be in the tens of millions.
I suspect so, yeah. But I mean, their popularity is huge. The
That's
tours
just
are
for me.
Yeah, tours are huge. That's just John's bought 2 million alone.
Yeah, right.
And this heavy focus on historical themes and military history is, something that we all appreciate. And I think,
oh yeah, for sure. That's the thing I noticed whenever I listen to them. They have a distinctive sound, which is, I don't know how to explain it, man. It's not orchestral, but it's very deep and very alpha, I guess is what the word I'm looking for.
Joe, before we get into talking a little bit more about the band members, I'd like to talk about the sound, because I think what you might be reaching for is that they're a little bit symphonic in places, and certainly they have symphonic versions of their songs. They've been described as power metal, but I know that Per Sundstrom doesn't like that term.
No.
He says we're not power metal, we're just metal.
It's like they are power metal in terms of their instrumentation, but along with that comes a lot of sword and sorcery type lyrics and fantasy elements that are not in this band for the most part, which is why I kind of agree with them. They are a heavy metal band that has extremely power metal leaning.
Yeah, but they have that symphonic edge, grandeur. There's a grandeur to many of the tracks.
Very operatic, very epic sound.
They have the feel of a Viking metal band without being Viking metal.
True.
It's an interesting way to put it.
Although they have covered an Amon Amarth tune, and it sounded perfect coming from them.
And they do have Swedish Pagans. So
true, very true.
Now, did you suggest Pope the other day when we talked about Swedish Pagans that Joachim doesn't like it? Doesn't like that?
He plays that up a lot on stage, where they basically quote unquote force him into it. And I don't know how much of that is real and how much of that is played up for the stage show. Like, oh, all right, I guess we'll play that one. But that's kind of the bit when they play live. He usually quote unquote gets forced into it by Tommy or whoever suggested.
Yeah. Well, one thing I saw, and it's probably been on most of their recent tours, is the whole Hello Kitty guitar thing.
Yep.
Which
big
is
guitar, yeah.
It's hilarious. Yeah. I didn't pack this guitar. No, we packed this guitar. So hey, Jay,
they'll mess with other bands on tour as well. Like I saw them a few years ago, and they were messing with the opening artist. One of them came out and behind the scenes, unscrewed the retaining nut on the guy's cymbal. So when he smashed it, the cymbal flew up.
Oh, geez, that's dangerous, though. Especially the cymbals that Hannes uses.
Oh yeah.
They're
Yeah.
they're like the rim around them is that tire thing he's got going on. But, yeah, but they may have sold a lot of albums and may be very popular, and they've won a few awards, but they haven't won every award because apparently in the 2012 Metal Hammer Awards, they only came 5th in the Metal as Fuck category.
Which is a damn shame.
Yeah.
Didn't even know there was such a thing as the Metal as Fuck category.
That's like the year Metallica lost a Grammy to Jethro Tull.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's still to this day.
Deserve, but at the same time, still.
Yeah.
So take a little look at the members of the band. This is one where I did steal this from that shit cesspit from Wikipedia, but I'm assuming it's reasonably accurate.
For stuff like this, Wikipedia is usually fairly reliable.
Yeah, for some of the basics. So we're not going to talk about every member necessarily, but there has been a bit of a change over the years from the original guys through to the sort of 2012 onwards crew. But there's two guys who've been there since the beginning. This is a photo of them in 1999.
And oh my god, that is
Now
seeing them now, like especially Joachim, it's like
Yeah.
holy shit,
So-
you guys are children.
So Joachim there is I believe is second from the left there.
Yep, that's him.
And as somebody said, I took this off the other cesspit, which is Reddit, and it said there was a comment underneath. I gotta find it. So somebody said he looks like he's gonna. Like he's going to introduce you to Jesus type thing. Where was the comment? It was a price? Oh yeah, it said someone said he looks like he's trying to talk to you about his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. To which some wag replied, "Excuse me, sir, do you have an hour to talk about our Lord and Savior Panzer Kampfwagen?" I don't know which one's par in this picture.
He would be the second from the right.
He's with the hand on the chin.
Yep, because this is before he had the beard.
So I'm not quite sure who the other guys are. You know all the older guys better than I do. That were.
I wouldn't know him by sight at this point. I don't think.
So obviously, our two guys left from that era. The two co-founders, Joachim Joke Bruden. I'm going to murder. I'm going to sound like I'm in the Muppets. Swedish. Co-founder, lead vocals, keyboards. Most of the time, somebody else played keyboards for a while, but he does most of them, I think.
He still plays most of the keyboard pieces on their albums, and they just pre-record and then loop it live. They don't have a live keyboardist.
And additional guitar too, especially if it's a pink Hello Kitty guitar.
Yes.
Unlike a lot of frontmen, he can actually shred.
Yeah, like that's the thing. He's actually not a bad guitarist. They just need a singer too.
Yeah, that's right. It's nice that he does concentrate on one rather than the other, but it's neat that he gets a chance to break the guitar out occasionally.
Yeah, and as he puts it, he started out as just a keyboard player, and they needed a vocalist to do some demos and actually start recording. And the band basically bullied him into doing it just on the premise of, just do the demos and we'll get a singer later to be our actual lead.
It's amazing how often.
And then they never got into the singer. He got stuck with it.
It seems to happen a lot to bands. Like I'm the drummer. They turn and look at the drummer. We need a vocalist. Do you want to do it? Kind of thing. So here he is.
Less often in metal because the drummer's busy.
Yes, this is one for the ladies. He has that distinctive mohawk as well, which it's kind of like a landing strip, really. This is where he set his arm on fire.
Yep.
Actually, I think it's just the angle of the picture. Pyrotechnics are a big part of the show.
Although, given some of their stage shows, not Sabaton so much, but Rammstein definitely, it's amazing they don't set themselves on fire more often.
11 Alpha makes a good point. Can he play guitar like Christopher from Maelstrom?
I've seen him do that, yes.
Does you think he's in a jazz funk band?
They could
yes,
probably play jazz funk if they wanted to.
they probably could. Well, they do have a disco song. Which,
Ooh, disco.
yeah, they do have a couple of disco songs. And they did sing Dancing Queen when I saw them.
Yeah,
Yep.
they did too. They started to sing Dancing Queen instead of.
Yeah. I'm trying to think which is the one they call a disco song. Is it Soldier of Heaven? Could be.
Yeah, I think
It could be, yeah.
Soldier of Heaven, I think they call it.
Yeah.
Here's our disco song.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the pink guitar.
There it is.
I can see why he's going to favor them. He's going a little bald on top now.
Yeah, he has the mohawk for the same reason I do. The sides aren't there anymore, and the top's not doing great either.
Yeah, I do love their stage sets, though. I mean, that whole Great War one.
Their stage presence and their overall show is just absolutely awesome. You didn't get to see the full show because they were the opening act, but I've seen them as the headliner a bunch of times, and they go all out.
Well, tomorrow I'm going to the Tour to End All Tours movie. So I will
wish
see
it was
that
close to
show, the Amsterdam show that they filmed. It's one showing only tomorrow in one. Well, it's in a couple of cinemas, but the one nearest to me in the city, I'm going to, is just one showing in that cinema. So I'm going to go see that tomorrow.
I'm getting the Blu-ray though as soon as they release it.
Oh, yeah. But I figured, you know what? I'll go to the cinema to see it in the big screen. But yeah, he's half Swedish, half Czech. Oh, that's poor. Apparently got into metal when he was 4 years old because he liked the video for Twisted Sisters We're Not Going to Take It. So, and in fact, him and Par share a love for Twisted Sister.
Yep.
I'm not going to comment on. But he also took part in a Czechoslovakian singing competition, which apparently has been going on for years. It's some TV show. I guess it's like America's Got Talent, but similar. I think it's for more established singers. It's probably like Dancing with the Stars, except for vocalists. And he came 5th in 2016 on that show.
Wow.
And then they wouldn't let him take part next year because they said he didn't live in Czechoslovakia. And because there's a video on YouTube of him saying, he's speaking, he says, here's my Czech passport. Look, it says Czechoslovakian, but apparently I'm not Czechoslovakian enough for them. So, so they wouldn't let him take part the following year.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So the other co-founder and from 1999 has been there, and also band manager as well as bass player, apparently.
And is it just me, or does he look like a mini-me of Ian Hill?
He does look a little Ian Hill-ish, doesn't he? He does now. I'm not sure.
I'm going to have to get that picture to my brother. He'd probably die for that pattern on an axe.
Yeah.
That is
I would
badass.
love to have one of their guitars. That white, black, and grayscale camo pattern on a strap would look awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Czech Republic, yes. Did I misspeak? Sorry. Yeah, Czech Republic. I'm old. I always say Czechoslovakia. Hey, I still call Yugoslavia. Even though it's not. Hello, Courtney.
Hello.
What you got? Oh, you're dressed. You're all dolled up.
It's a doggo.
My dog is JoesAtmosfere, if you haven't noticed.
All right.
There we go.
Actually, he's just an old biker dude, but
You look wonderful.
thank you.
You missed mine. I've taken the wig off already.
I saw it for a minute from my
All right,
phone.
yeah. I was a Swedish pagan, or possibly maiden, one or the other. 11 Alpha still calls Gdansk Danzig. Well, Danzig's a better band name, I think. But
Are you dressed as Joan Jett, young lady? Is that who you are?
Hair's way too long for Joan Jett, but
That's true. That's true. That wig is too long.
well, you look
I couldn't
awesome.
find my Elvira dress. I was gonna try and be Elvira, but I just figured I'd just be a rocker, or I'd be Walter's
Yeah.
biker bitch. you know?
You're a Judas Priest groupie. That's what you are. Yeah.
That works. I'm not a groupie though. I had groupies.
This is when I was asked whether I was going by my daughter, whether I was going to dress up for Halloween. I said, well, yes, I'm going to dress as an old rock fan going to a movie about a rock band. So that's how I'm going to dress. But anyway, Parr, yeah, he's a bass player, band manager, does a lot of the writing with Joachim as well. Others do write stuff. It's not to say they don't, but those two write a lot of it. I think Parr tends to favor the lyrics a lot of the time as well. He's a trained pyrotechnician.
Ooh.
Because he used to do it all before they became famous. He did all the pyrotechnics. I like the way the bass blends into his camo trousers, though.
Yeah.
Like, that could be a bit awkward in certain social situations. And he's the one that thinks that Sabaton can't really be classified as power metal. He much prefers to say, we're just metal. We're a metal band. And Wilson pre-Buffy. That's what I take it. That's what you think Courtney looks like. And Wilson pre-Buffy. It's funny. Was that Ann Wilson? Tim says
She did get big. Oh
She
my
did.
God, she did.
So this is Parr back in 1999. It's pretty neat. I mean, didn't we all look like that at 19?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. I had shorter hair because I was in the military. But
I was
Yeah.
going to say I was in the Air Force ROTC, so my hair wasn't that long, but
My
yeah.
hair wasn't that long either.
I'm trying to figure out the T-shirt he's wearing.
Yeah, I don't
Is that
know.
the wall?
No, it
No.
says hell for something. Hell for
No idea.
no. That's interesting. No. This is a great picture of him. I love this one. He's starting to look like Bigfoot here. I think he's or California man and Encino man. He's starting to get
Right?
hell for sale. 11 alphases. Hell for sale.
He's the Geico caveman. That's what he
Hell
is.
for sale. That's a great picture. So also in the band at the moment is Chris Rorland on guitar, joined in 2012. You've also got, well, that's Chris again. I like that actually. I never noticed that he's got his name and rank. He's got rank insignia. He's a sergeant.
Yep.
Chris 7. Then they say, I love this is the drums. This is Hannes von Dahl, joined in 2013, married to Fleur Jansen of Nightwish.
Lucky bastard.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't realize that. But I didn't know that. But
For a lot of years now. I think like they got married in like 2015 or
oh,
something
yeah,
like
they've
that.
been together for a while. Yeah, like that. This is one of his symbols.
Yeah, it looks like a hubcap.
It is. It's freaking awesome.
It looks pretty cool. It looks like a school band photo or something, but he's like
Right.
One of the few drummers that uses symbols that don't say Zildjian on it.
Yeah. This is more what it looks like from above the setup. I think this is in the studio, but still pretty neat. It's a distinctive look because of those symbols. Yeah, there's his missus. The missus. Not a flattering picture, but they do a lot of stuff on YouTube like everybody does. There's this. I love these photographs from behind looking out.
Yeah.
And that's just captured at just the right time there. Look at that.
Yeah, when you see them in the US too, you don't get the full like experience of what they are used to. Like they play 80,000 person soccer arenas in Europe.
I was fixing to say when I was watching the montage earlier, I was trying to imagine how many people were at that thing, all clapping for the band. I was like, my gosh, that's a lot of people.
Big festival band. Yeah, huge.
And I was saying the 70s before the show, there's been a couple of very famous shows that they've done where they play like some of that nation's songs that they've done. Like there's a very famous video of them doing 40-1 in Warsaw.
Yes.
And the crowd is, first of all, enormous, like probably 60, 70,000 people. And they're going absolutely nuts.
Yeah, they love them. They love them in Poland.
I'd like to thank Great White for removing the use of pyro in most places now.
Yeah.
Oh, is that their fault? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
because of the incident.
I mean, that was a tragedy, but
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
was.
was.
I'm also terrified of fire, so you're not going to get me.
I like it when you're in the crowd and you can feel, you get singed, you can feel the
No.
heat. So this must be Europe, because these old, in the back is one of these old town gas, they used to call them. There would be a big thing in there that would contain gas way back in the day. So it's a European thing, that I think. Anyway, that's just me. So you've also got Thuby. I can never pronounce these names. Apologies to anyone from Sweden. Thuby, England.
Happy.
England, in guitarist in the band between 2012 and 2016, and rejoined this year
Yep.
because Tommy
Which it's
Johansson.
rather ironic that a guy from Sweden would be named England.
That's right, Robert England. Yeah, he rejoined after Tommy Johansson left. There he is. The camo guitar is just beautiful.
Yeah, that camo
Beautiful
pattern
feathers,
they wear on everything is just badass. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And then, of course, the guy he replaced, Tommy Johansson, who was in the band from 2016 to 2024, but he'd been a long-time friend of the band before that for a long time, and they didn't part on acrimonious terms. He just wanted to try and do more of his own thing, so they're still pretty close, I believe. That could be PR speak, but I don't think so, because he appears in a band with Thuba, Van Dahl, and Rorland called the Last Heroes. So they have a pickup band that they all play in together.
Yeah, and this is the second band that kind of spun out of Sabaton. The other one being the former members who left in 2012, forming Civil War.
Oh, right. Okay. So tell me about some of those guys.
Well, after they finished their stint in Sabaton, they created a similar style of band, focusing in on the American Civil War for some reason. I guess they're all just big buffs of that era of history.
Yeah.
We all have our own specific fascinations with history, I guess. But yeah, they've done 3 albums. I think they're working on their 4th now.
That's cool.
And they're pretty solid. Like I'd put them up there with like an Iced Earth or something like that.
Yeah, I need to look out for that then. There's a nice picture of Tommy. This is the Last Heroes lineup. So it's pretty much almost all of Sabaton. Well, 4 of them anyway. But the sorry, go back. Back to Tommy, just briefly before we move on to talk about some of the records. He has a very good YouTube channel, which he does a lot of. So he's a multi-instrumentalist, and he's a fabulous singer, and that's partly why he wanted to leave. He wanted to do more vocals and sing. He's got a really good voice. Go check his YouTube channel out.
He's a multi-talented musician too.
Oh,
He's a great
gosh.
piano player. Brilliant guitarist. Has a very neoclassical style that's common for Swedish guitarists for some reason.
Yeah,
and just a good songwriter as well.
Yeah, if you head over to his channel, he does a lot of covers, but he does now. I'm a lover of metal covers of ABBA songs.
Right.
I love metal ABBA, and he does a great cover of "The Winner Takes It All."
Yeah.
Really?
Knockout vocal in it. Absolutely unbelievable.
I love it when a metal band covers
like pop
you know,
stuff.
they take pop stuff and they make it metal. I think my favorite one's probably that one that Alien Ant Farm did of Michael Jackson.
Smooth Criminal.
Smooth Criminal. That's one of the best ones I've ever heard. It was awesome.
Kid Dancing was awesome.
One of the best Michael Jackson covers I've ever heard.
Yeah. So just a few more images. Obviously, the military and history part is big. I think that might be Normandy.
It's either Normandy or one of the World War. It might be Verdun as well, because I know they did a big thing with them for the 100th anniversary.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, it's
I
very
have been to a graveyard like that in France. It's the American Cemetery somewhere.
That one's in Normandy. That's Normandy. Yeah,
it's probably where I was now.
Yeah, it's quite an incredible place, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It is.
I've been to the British one. I've never been to the American one in Normandy, but I was quite young. I was about 12, I think.
I was 17, maybe.
Yeah. But these guys are huge respecters of that stuff. And we'll talk a little little bit more about that as we go. But this is part of their. This is. I think I might always be talking about Father here. No, the song Father. But no. I know it's the poison gas, but they've got all the chemical stuff on the board. You know, but they do their poison gas. But and there's just a little bit of a look at.
Wow.
I love the rest of the tank is what it is, and then they have the two Yamaha logos on the
That's badass.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
so 11 Alpha, I think it's the French military ceremony, cemetery. So maybe it's a Verdun or one of them.
I know they did a big show at
have the
Verdun.
crosses.
Yeah, Gimme by Fur. I can never say that.
Fire response. Yes.
Yeah, I love that version. Yeah, ABBA really do ABBA songs done metal. Brilliant. I love ABBA.
I hate to say it, I like ABBA's original stuff.
Oh, I do. I'm a big ABBA fan. Trust me, I'm a big ABBA fan. Yeah.
And who better to cover it than a Swedish metal band?
Exactly. Right? There's a good. I like some of these that just been captured at just the right moment. But look at the attention to detail. You know, the big gun on the tank. You got the sandbags, the barbed wire. Just freaking awesome.
Pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
I may have to go see this band when they're within reach. Yeah.
I have seen them 4 times live, and I have loved it more every single time.
Yeah, this is the stripped down set that I did at the gig I went to, where they were supporting Priest. They just had the backdrop and the tank and a few other bits and pieces. So stripped down, but music was still awesome. This is a great one too.
Are they still doing original music?
Yes, they are.
Oh yeah. Oh god,
Very
yeah.
cool.
More ambitious than ever before. I mean,
Their last album was 2022, so we're about due for another one here shortly.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the last one was an epic.
Yes.
So there's the Red Baron set up with the keyboard in the plane.
Wow. That's awesome.
I would love to show the videos, but it's just impossible. It's just never going to happen. They wouldn't. But go check the video of the Red Baron has got multiple videos. It's got that. It's got the Lego one. There's the Lego version.
Oh yeah, I've seen Lego Sabaton before. It's brilliant.
Look at this. I mean, there's nobody else like this. It's just no, they're not breaking up. They're not breaking up. I don't think.
No. They're still going strong. And like you say, there's nobody else like this. And I think that's why they kind of blew up the way they did. Is they don't sound like anyone else, and they don't act like anybody else either.
They don't, indeed.
They're just a bunch of Swedish history nerds that happen to be good at music.
That's awesome, though. I mean, come on.
It is. I love the history. I love the military focus. It's fantastic. So
You want to talk about a niche group?
Oops.
Name another rock band or any band that does military stuff.
I mean, Iron Maiden's the closest I can get, and they've only done
I was fixing to say they do a little bit of historical stuff, but I mean, come on, these guys are they're well known. Look, I don't even listen to them, and I know who they are.
Well,
because people rave about them.
Even listening to their songs has taught me a bunch of stuff about military history and history I didn't know, or I didn't know about a lot of the stuff about Poland and you know. So the breadth of their knowledge has been great. I mean, they've done the First World War, Second World War. The Carolus Rex is about the Swedish Empire in the 16th, 17th centuries. They've got songs about Bannockburn, you know. They've got just about every era covered in various songs, but obviously a big focus on First and Second World War.
And then they've kind of done this thing where they kind of hyper focus on one type of thing per record. Like The Last Stand is all famous last stands throughout history.
Oh yeah, that's right. They theme things.
Yeah, so it's not really a concept album, but it kind of is.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, you know, I mean, Queensryche used to do that too. They tell stories with their stories.
Yeah, but it's not
I have a question for you before we get into the discography of them.
Yeah.
This video that we've seen, like I've seen EVS use it and I've seen Flash use it. It's like Trump being fused with Warhammer, and it's got a rock band behind it. Is that a Sabaton tune they're playing?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
And that is one of the best memes to come out of the 2016 election.
It is. I think it's funny as hell. I think it's funny as hell. I really do. But the song is badass, and I'm just wondering which one it is. So
I don't remember.
I don't know that one. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the records. We'll talk about the albums first. I know there's some tracks outside of the albums, but I mean, they actually recorded some demos back in 99, 2000. I think they got released as Fist for Fight was the sort of double collection. But then they put those on Metallizer later if you get a particular version of that. So you can get them on Metallizer if you get the expanded version, the early demos.
And it's an interesting sound for them because for people who came into them for their later albums, you get to hear them much more raw and less produced.
Yeah, so I mean, so I guess we're kind of going to skip a little bit, but Primo Victoria was 2005. So this is the one where, well, actually, we've got the Metallizer. Now we mentioned it, so I've got all these here somewhere. There you go, Metallizer. I love the covers, the artwork in the covers. So
Yeah, the artwork has always been great, and it just keeps improving every album.
Wow, that's bad.
So strictly speaking, this is earlier than Primo Victoria, recorded earlier.
Yeah, it was released 5 years after they recorded it because they weren't really sure they wanted it, but they had the song, so might as well.
Yeah, and I think this one is a bit more. There's some straightforward metal on it, as it were, rather than a theme.
Yeah,
there's a few tracks that have got some stories, but I mean, there's some actual hardcore metal, speed and thrash metal type stuff on here.
Yeah, and this was before they really decided that military history was going to be their focus.
Yeah.
And they kind of did these, and then later on, once they gained popularity, they kind of released this stuff. And it's like, oh, this is the other stuff we do too, if you want.
Yeah, and they reworked a couple of the earlier demos for this album. You can see that the version that is on the screen here has got the Metallizer, but then the Fist for Fight stuff, some of which was done later, reworked later. But Jawbreaker's the bonus track on Metallizer.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed they didn't put that in the set since they're playing with Judas Priest.
I know, I was kind of thinking they would, but Hellrider's a great track. I love Hellrider on this,
which is also a Judas Priest cover.
That's right, yeah. So it's an interesting album. I mean, it's not, you go, early stuff maybe isn't as good. It's a brilliant album. If they'd never did any other albums, you would say, well, that was a great album.
Yeah, that's the funny part, is it's actually a really great album on its own, and it's one of their lesser known ones.
Yeah. Burn Your Crosses is a good track. I like that one.
Masters of the World.
Masters of the World is a great one. They play that in the background when they're setting up sometimes.
Yeah. Because I don't know if they really do a lot of this stuff live now at all.
They do a couple of them every now and again. Like I remember having seen them do Masters of the World once, but and 7734 they also do occasionally.
Yeah. 11 Alpha says they misspelt Gute Nacht. Guten Nacht. It could be Gluten Nacht. Maybe it was meant to be a health thing. I don't know. So yeah, that wasn't released till 2007, but was recorded earlier. But then they started to get into the military and the history and the themed stuff with Primo Victoria.
And the story goes that they were watching Saving Private Ryan one night, and Parr and Joaquin both just kind of looked at each other and went, "Yeah, we should do this."
Yeah.
And it turned out to be the best decision they ever could have made.
Oh God, yeah. Primo Victoria itself is a brilliant,
and
track.
Everything on this record absolutely slays.
Yeah. Stalingrad's
a good one.
Epic.
Counter-Strike, I think, is my favorite one off of here.
Yeah. So a great album, Primo Victoria, and brought in that more anthemic sound, I would say.
Yeah.
With, big anthemic sound, a lot of big keyboard pieces mixed in. I don't know how you describe that kind of keyboard sound. It's kind of symphonic, but it's a keyboard. I'm not good at describing those. Great album.
Yeah, it sounds like you're struggling like I was earlier. It's,
Yeah,
it's
like-
just a very unique sound. They have a unique sound. I'll
Yeah.
say that.
This-
It's deep and it's heavy, but at the same time, it's uplifting in moments. Man, it's really cool. It's
Yeah.
really inspirational.
Especially when they get the chorus involved in some of their
Yeah.
later albums. It's just absolutely anthemic.
Mhm. Yep.
and they're starting
There you go. There's the word, anthems. It's like each song is an anthem. It's really very cool.
and I don't know whether they decide. I don't know how they came to the. I guess it's just the fact that they loved history and loved military history. They decided let's write about that and talk about it, rather than a conscious decision to say we're going to be this a band that just this. I think it must just have been
And
something
this
they
is
were.
also the one time they've broken their rule. Is usually they won't do a song on any conflict that's newer than like 20 years ago,
Yes.
because any historian will tell you during and right after the war, it is impossible to tell you what actually happened.
Yeah.
Right.
But Panzer Battalion was written about the invasion of Iraq, which had only happened 2 years beforehand, and that was their
Yeah.
one and only foray into that. Brilliant song though.
I know that they've made or been made to talk about many times certain current conflicts, and they're quite not ambivalent, but they're like, well, we don't want anybody to get hurt, kind of thing. It's
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing is that they're not pro-war. They're in
yes,
fact, listen to it.
That's right.
They're pro-soldier, but not pro-war. Essentially,
yeah,
They
they're
tell the
not.
stories of the men who fought,
Yes,
not
pro soldier.
why the war happened or who was right and wrong, because none of that freaking matters in the long run.
No, it's history. They're talking about history, not flag waving. Yeah. Although there's a bit of that occasionally.
Yeah,
Depending
because
on
you
the
have to
context.
lean into it, especially if you're talking about the attitude that those soldiers fought for. Like The Last Dying Breath is a brilliant example that we'll get.
And then they started to get more into the World War II kind of groove with Terror Dominatus.
Well, especially
2006.
because if you're talking about military history in the mid to late 2000s, World War II is going to come up.
Yeah.
The largest
Hello.
conflict in human history.
Now, I don't know whether you feel that between the last album and this one is more of a. I think that it possibly got a little bit more polished.
Yeah, they changed their production, I think, a little
Yeah.
bit, because I think they finally had the money to actually do real professional production on it. Because I think this is when they got picked up by Nuclear Blast.
Yeah.
No, sorry, this is still Black Lodge.
It's still black.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was necessarily less heavy, but it just a little bit more polished, perhaps.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the band or the production side of the house that adds that, but it is a marked difference in their sound quality.
I do like the Metal Crew, but with the
That one's
umlaut spelling. Yeah, that's a great track. And the Angels Calling, great track too. That's all. There's not a bad one. There's no bad ones. But
No, really not.
Rise of Evil's quite an interesting one lyrically.
That one is the one that has caused them the most trouble out of anything.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he sings about the Holocaust, and it's like they called it the Rise of Evil.
That's
Which
right.
side of that argument do you think they're on?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you couldn't be more clear about your position there. Yeah.
Right? It's not like they called it like, oh, this thing that happened and no one's really sure.
Yeah. So up to 2008, The Art of War, Sun Tzu, of course, Sun Tzu reference. And this is where they're talking about different conflicts, of course, but with the text of The Art of War applying. So a theme more than a.
And I think that was more of a unique theme than the other ones, because they're kind of like applying the real, text of The Art of War to different situations throughout history and how it's been applied and effectively.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a good theme. I mean, who else is doing stuff like that? I don't know.
Ghost
They-
Division 40-1.
40-1. Ghost Division is just, I think it's possibly my favorite. It's difficult to say.
It's right up there. And that used to be their opening song for most of their sets.
It's such a great song.
That's what they
Just-
opened with.
I just the way he rhymes the lyrics and that, it's not lyrics you would expect to rhyme. But
No.
Cliffs of Gallipoli. I mean, I'm a big. Gallipoli was such a tragic battle or campaign, pointless tragic campaign, that to hear a song like this about it was very impactful.
Yeah.
Price of a Mile.
That one is a brilliant one.
Price of a Mile.
Yeah.
I mean, the title. Wow.
Yeah. When you think about what it cost in World War One, and they do reference that in many of their other videos too. I think is it 1916 at the end where they talk about 3 miles and how many people died. Just
Yep.
so that's what they're not pro-war. They're talking about what happened to the guys, the troops.
And when you look at, I mean, there's a reason they picked Passchendaele for it, because that's the battle people point to is the just sheer brutality of the Western
Slaughter,
Front.
senseless slaughter. Well, not if you're Turkish, as yes. Gallipoli was not a failed campaign for them anyway.
Oh no.
It was their ground. I like this inlay, by the way, which is you get to see the band as it was at that time with the Daniel Mayer and keyboards. Bit of a switch coming up soon in the band members. But Coat of Arms was next. This one's actually interesting because it's got stuff like the Greek Greco-Italian War. It's covered.
Yeah, that's a war that, like, I was like, wait a minute. Like, people remember that happened?
That's right, yeah. Greco-Italian War, the war, and then of course you've got the Warsaw Uprising just got sung about.
And my personal favorite off of this is Aces in Exile.
Yes.
Talking about the foreign squadrons of the RAF during the Battle of Britain.
And this is one which I don't think there was any tracks of this when I saw them recently.
They usually play either Screaming Eagles or sometimes Midway.
I don't know, John, if last time you saw them.
It's the same set because I saw it twice. So.
Yeah. I don't think there was any tracks from this.
I know one time I saw them, they played Uprising, which was interesting.
Uprising's good. Yeah.
And also, if you ever liked the Soviet Union or what they did during World War II, listen to that song. You will never like them again.
That's right.
Absolute backstabbing dickbags.
Oh, frick yes. So Coat of Arms, probably one I play a little less than some of the others.
Yeah, I mean, some of it's my personal favorites, like Aces in Exile. Midway has always been a fascinating one for me because I love the battle. White Death is another one that I play fairly regularly. But yeah, it rotates in and out.
D. Bud Martin is
Screaming
here.
Eagles.
Screaming Eagles, yeah, it's a good track. D. Bud Martin is here. Good to see you, buddy.
D. Bud.
They are Swedish. Well, this is it. So when I went to Norway the first ever time, I was chatting to some guys. I was there forgive me, I was there to see Paul McCartney play in Oslo. Yeah, well, it's just a short plane flight from Edinburgh, so what the hell, why not? Anyway, I was talking to a bunch of Norwegians, and they've got a saying, as stupid as a Swede. So I think there's a little bit of a thing going
I
on
love that
between
they both use the same joke against each other.
That's right.
If you're talking to a Norwegian, like what does Norway have that Sweden doesn't? Good neighbors.
That's right. Yeah.
And then Sweden it reverses.
So now we're on to some of the big hitters as well. Carolus Rex. As I say, which band would dare make an album about the 17th century King of Sweden reforming the army?
Right, like nobody's ever even heard of the Swedish Empire, let alone do an entire album on it.
Indeed. And not only an entire album, but some cracking bonus tracks on this one, and in English and Swedish. It's just it is a stormingly good album.
Out of these, I think Caroline's Prayer is the one I play the most.
I do love that. Yes, that is a good one. Carolus Rex itself is damn good.
Lion from the North, I think, was one of the first songs I ever heard from them, and that was the moment I kind of got back into metal in a lot of ways because I'd kind of been out of the scene for a minute, doing my own thing, and then I heard that come up on my playlist, and I was just like, "Who the hell are these guys?"
I kind of like off this one. I like Gott mit uns.
Got Mid Uns is a great one.
There's actually, we'll talk about my favorite tracks later. I've got a list. I always have a list. The bonus tracks, Hardly from Hell.
Yeah.
That kicks ass. That's one of my all-time favorites.
And I love how they did Feuerfrei from Rammstein and Twilight of the Thunder God from Amon Amarth on the same record.
And In the Army Now, one of Status Quo's worst songs.
I happen to like their version of Twilight of the Thunder Gods better than I like Amon Amarth.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very different, but I like them both for different reasons.
Yeah. I just thought I didn't want to show all the inlays because the inlays and the artwork is brilliant on all these albums.
This one kind of looks like something Joe's working on.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. You got the tricorn hat base. What's up?
But look at that.
Sword.
Just
Yeah.
how beautiful that is.
That is cool. I like that.
Stuff like this. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And all
Now, was
different
that one
versions.
about the 1700s? Was that
It's about the Swedish Empire in the
Okay.
17th and 18th centuries?
I was fixing to say 18th century. That sounds about right. Yeah. That
Yep.
the hat style. That's what tells you what.
Yeah, late 17th, early 18th. Well, it says right there between 1611 and 1718.
There you go.
I think you would say this is possibly. It's a brilliant album. I mean, it's a brilliant album by any standards for any band. It's possibly. It's epic. I don't know how you describe it. It's not that the other albums aren't great too. This one is something about it. I think because it's so personal to them.
Should go down in the collected words of the Swedish people as one of their finest.
Yes, that's what I was trying to get. It's so personal to them that it's. But yeah, if you want to impress your friends, I know a band who made an album about King Charles the 12th of Sweden. Yes, you wouldn't like it, but but yeah. So the artwork.
Oh, that's killer, man! I may have to buy a copy of this just to.
I have the digital.
Heavily recommend this album.
I've got a digital copy, so the booklet is digital, but I don't have I wish I had the physical one. I might get it eventually.
What's the name of the album again?
Carolus Rex.
Okay, gotcha.
Let me just go back to the.
No, you're
cover.
good. You're good. You're good.
Which is Swedish for King Charles.
Carolus Rex. It's
Gotcha.
It's epic in every way.
You guys have to excuse me. I'm eating my dinner. That's what I'm usually on camera, but
So there's the Swedish Empire at the time. Not bad,
For a tiny country that's up in the middle of nowhere, yeah, they did okay for quite a while against some of the biggest powers in Europe.
Yeah, indeed, and all the Baltic area. So, then after that, background to like a theme of heroism with heroes, obviously. Like To Hell and Back, which is about Audie Murphy, of course, who's
the most decorated soldier in U.S. Army history.
Yeah, great Audie Murphy.
To the point where when they made the movie about him, they had to like tone down some of the exploits that they were talking about because no one would believe it.
Yeah, a time when you could actually respect Hollywood actors. Murphy.
I mean, in this case, they actually got Audie Murphy to play himself.
That's right.
Yeah, he played himself.
This has some of my favorite songs on it. It's not my favorite album, but it's close to it.
So which ones are
smoking ones on here?
Which ones in particular would you pick, John?
Oh, Night Witches, first of all.
Yep.
Resistant Bite, Heart of Iron. Obviously, To Hell and Back.
Hearts of Iron is an interesting one in that, again, the Germans are actually the good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. To Hell and Back's the set closer in the current tour.
Yeah.
Oh, The Soldier of the Three Armies. That's the one.
Yeah, that's on here.
That's the one about, I forgot the guy's name, but he's
Larry Allen Thorne.
Yeah.
Or Larry Allen Turney, depending on which country you're from.
Yeah, he was in 3 different armies, including the SS.
Yep. Turns out the men really hated communists.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
I think my favorite on this one, though, is in terms of the story behind it, is Inmate 4859.
Yeah, that's a good
This
one.
absolute mad bastard of a human being who volunteered to get sent to Auschwitz to give intel to the Polish resistance on what was going on in the camp, escaped to give them the intel, and then went back.
Bloody hell.
Whoa.
That man is just built different.
Story, isn't it? Yeah.
Hello.
But Resisted Bite is a great track. I absolutely love that.
Resistant Bite's a great one. Smoking Snakes, I think, is a very interesting one. Again, because it's about Brazil in World War II. No.
Yeah, but I love the fact. Yeah, well, that's I didn't know that. I wasn't. I mean, I've listened to it, but
Until that song, I didn't even know they were involved.
No, me neither. But I like the theme. It's the fact they've picked a theme: heroics and heroes. So it's something that we're going to do a little more of as they went on. But then we get into some of the real epic stuff. The Last
This
Stand.
is my favorite album.
Yeah. Last Stand. I mean, look at that cover art as well. Just of course it's got the Scottish one. Not one of their greatest songs, but still it's Scottish. Blood
To
of
this day,
Bannockburn.
the only one they've ever done in a minor key.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
You musical person, you. So this is John's. This is your favorite, John. You would say, yeah.
Yep, my favorite song on this album is Shiryama.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
Winged Hussars is great. Blood
Yeah.
of Bannockburn. I can never say it.
Bannockburn, yeah.
Bannockburn, the blood of Bannockburn.
Yep. Last Stand, of course. Lost Battalion.
Yeah.
The one I've always found interesting on this one is Hill 3234, because it's about Afghanistan, but not the time I was there.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's about the Soviet occupation in Afghanistan. But in terms of great songs on this album, Throw a Dart. It's all fantastic.
Oh, it's,
Throw a dart. I
oh,
love
it's
it.
quality stuff. Even the All Guns Blazing is brilliant.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go with, if I had to pick one off this album, I'd probably go with either Last Dying Breath or Shiroyama.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. It's a classic album. And a bit more, I mean, the arrangements are so good. It's kind of, again, it's got that epic feel.
And of course, they have the song that turned into the meme of the band, which is Winged Hussars.
Yep.
That's right. The Winged Hussars are here now, obviously. It's got that drama. It's drama. It's dramatic. Yeah.
Well, there's nothing more, epic in human history than a brave last stand, especially one where they died to a man, like the title track, The Last Stand of the Swiss Guard.
Yeah.
Like, there's just something very heroic and very noble about that in human history that we all kind of identify with.
Well, Matt's mentioning that Hill 3234 is the best song on the album and nobody talks about it. Well, Pope just did.
There you go.
So, wait, Pope, thank you for talking about it. I mean, there's so many. This is the problem. There's so many good tracks.
That's the thing, is when you're on an album like this, it's easy to get overlooked as just a really good song.
Yeah, I mean, I picked 10 that I'm going to talk about after this, but it's just, I mean, I could have picked 10 others or I could have picked 10 others than that. It's just, and it changes from day to day, but yes.
Yeah.
Epic stuff. I mean, these are epic albums. There's no other way to put it. The Great War, of course, now they're getting into just a specific conflict.
The war to end all wars.
Well, that's the next one.
Well, that's the next one.
Yeah, this one probably has their most.
Oh, what? That's the name of their next album?
song.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Sorry, John, what did you say?
This one probably has the most interesting song they do live. Attack of the Dead Men.
Oh, Attack of the
that's
Dead
great.
Men, yeah. It actually works quite well live as well, given that it's got that really weird key change in it and goes
Yeah.
to that slow, sinister bit almost,
Well, he comes out spraying the smoke like it's chlorine gas.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you can see the artwork again is stellar.
Yeah.
Unbelievably good artwork.
Who does that?
This is
Oh,
one, I think this album is the one, the first one I bought day of release. Like, I owned a copy of it as soon as it came out.
And it was to mark the centenary of the First World War.
At least parts of it,
ending.
yeah,
Especially
it was
the ending of it.
2018. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, recorded at that at time anyway. I mean, it was released a little later, but it's epic stuff. And of course, they've got the entire orchestral
Yep.
version.
I loved they did one version, one show of this live, and they actually had a bunch of extras in the background as well, not extras, but the chorus live. And they were, each one of them was dressed up in the uniform of every nation that fought during World War I.
Get out of here.
Right. Okay.
Wow.
Which was awesome. They were all up in the background of the up in the back during the show. It was fucking awesome.
I believe that tank is a specific tank.
Yeah, it's a British Mark IV.
Yeah. It's just, I look at it, I just love the artwork. The artwork is totally appropriate for the content.
Oh yeah, it's badass.
It's got like every element of it, and it's got that grim dark feeling to the whole thing.
Well, I guess smoke with nothing but skulls in it. Good Lord. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's got some of the Red Baron rightly is a favorite track of many people. Attack of the Dead Men, John mentioned. 82nd All the Way, which is awesome.
82nd Airborne, yeah.
Yeah.
Devil Dogs, which is the Marines at the Battle of Wood.
Not just Marines. My regiment, 5th Marines.
Yeah, it's where they actually got the name Devil Dogs from.
Yep.
Yeah.
7 Pillars of Wisdom's about T.H. Lawrence.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Fields of Verdun obviously is about Verdun. So
it's great stuff.
I love how they end the record too with that massive like cacophony that is the end of the war to end all wars. There's like a crescendo, and then the guns all fade to silence, and then they do a completely choral version of In Flanders Fields.
It's exceptionally emotional.
Yeah, because that's literally how the war ended, where the guns just went silent. And
and I think people have accused them at times possibly being, let's use the word bombastic, because it's very big epic productions. This is very different. It's much more emotional, intense. I don't know what introspective, that's a word.
And they copy kind of the feeling of those like of that time as well. Not so much on this record, but on the next one, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it has got the usual anthemic stuff too, but in amongst that, there's that solemn kind of feeling.
Songs like Great War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great album. There it is. There's one of the tanks, the Little Willie, somebody pointed out, is on the cover.
Little Willie.
The first completed tank prototype in history, according to this. It's on the cover. We don't want your Little Willie on the cover.
No, we don't need that. Yeah.
Leave it to the British to call it, the first armored fighting vehicle, Little Willie.
Yeah, I've actually heard that recording, Soul Assassin, many years ago, and it must have been incredible. And also to know that you'd survived, that it really was over.
And, I always feel bad for the guys who died that last day. There was a Canadian corporal, I believe, was killed at 10:58 a.m.
I know.
On November 11th.
Well,
the last known casualty.
Well, All Quiet in the Western Front, isn't that what it's about? Or am I thinking the wrong movie? They're made to fight.
That is what happens in the movie.
They're made to fight on the last day. Yeah.
I mean, I think he dies in October sometime in the book, but very close to the end. Yeah.
It's just it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
The history editions are cool.
Yeah.
Where they kind of go into the history that they're talking about.
So the War to End All Wars, continuing that theme, but also, as you say, they've got there's a lot of different editions, and there's the digital streaming editions they did of the EPs with like 6 or 7 collected tracks that fitted together, where they put a couple of extra tracks on, which was quite interesting.
Although the special editions for this record, I have an issue with, because there's a song on the history editions that's not on the regular one, and it would have made the regular album so much better. In that the first and last songs are mirrors of each other.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And it's on this version, Sarajevo.
Yeah.
I love the history version of Sarajevo.
Yeah, the regular release starts with Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And then Soldier of Heaven's on here Christmas Truce, which, despite what it is, a
Lady in
very
the Dark.
impactful song. I mean, it's very
I
impactful.
love Dreadnought too, and that the whole point was basically outside of Jutland, the navies of World War I did absolutely fucking nothing. They just sat in port, mean mugged each other, and then went out and fought each other once, and then went back to port for 2 years.
I'm glad your father survived 11 Alpha. That's I had a similar story to tell about the Second World War and my father. He just got out. My father was in the Air Force, and he was the youngest of. He was he had 4 brothers. The 2 older ones were already fighting in Europe. He was in the Air Force. His younger brother was quite a bit younger, and he was just about. He was going to be on Lancaster bombers as a flight engineer, and he was just like a week away from being posted and actually going out on missions. And his father died, so he got sent home, discharged, and sent home to look after his mother, sisters, and younger brother, and run the family farm that they had.
Wow.
And he said, I was that close because he said, virtually everyone I knew died that was in my squadron.
Wow.
Yeah. So he said, I said, well, what did you feel? He says, I was happy. He said, I was going to live. He said, he wasn't like, oh, I missed the chance for glory. You know, he was like, no, I lived. So it was, I was 17. He was only 17. So anyway, that was my story.
Yeah, Hellfighters is interesting. It's about the Black Regiment, our own Hellfighters.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a great track too, but it was even more awesome story. They were, I think, the first or one of the first army units to arrive in France.
Yeah.
In 1918.
Yeah.
And they fought longer on the Western Front than any other American unit.
Yeah, every song has got a story, which is the good bit. There's no throwaway stuff in any of these albums. Everything is in its place.
Christmas Truce. I'm seeing that song title. And
if you,
how many times have they made a song about that?
Pipes of Peace. Oh my God.
I mean,
but yeah, this one is, if you watch the videos they make are fantastic.
They're more like movies, almost like Michael Jackson used to do, than they are just a music video.
really?
Some of them really are movies, really. If you look at them, they're credited as if they were movies. So they've done a few tracks outside of these albums. Bismarck, the single, which is
not content with doing a bunch of songs about tanks and all that and armored warfare, they then one-upped it and went with battleships.
And I believe this is in World of Warships. Something to do with World of Warships.
They actually got the guys from Wargaming, the company that makes World of Warships, to basically help them with the video for this.
Well, the game Hearts of Iron, from, Hearts of Iron 4 specifically, they do the soundtrack for. You can download the soundtrack as a DLC.
Really?
And the Sabaton,
Yeah, awesome. So Bismarck's a great track.
I got it.
Angels Calling is with Apocalyptica is awesome.
Yeah.
You want to talk symphonic? This is where they actually went with it. Collab with a symphonic metal band.
I'm assuming you guys have heard the Apocalyptica Metallica album.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I just love it. It sounds better than Metallica. Controversial statement. Defense of Moscow, or Moscow as we would say.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Kingdom Come is a great track. Steel Commanders.
Yep.
Or Steel Commanders. These are all separate tracks from the albums.
As an ode to our tanker friends.
And then they did the EPs on which I think are just streaming. I don't think I've got the streaming versions. I don't think
they ever released them physically. No.
The Weapons of the Modern Age is one, and there's a track Father that's on that isn't on the others are all tracks you can get elsewhere, but Father's, and then The First Soldier is on the Heroes of the Great War EP. T.E. Lawrence there, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
And that's another view of the cover of that. And then 1916 is on Stories from the Western Front.
Which that's a special one for me because it's one of my favorite bands covering another one of my favorite bands, being Motorhead.
And again, the video is very impactful, and Motorhead are in it. Well, two of them in a picture.
Yep.
There's even a Motorhead flag, but it's a great video because it shows soldiers from every era in it, not just I'd love to show it, but we can't.
And it's a song that kind of went underlooked from Motorhead, and it really shows off some of Lemmy's songwriting ability.
Well, yeah. Well, I think the Motorhead, the Sabaton version is obviously a lot more metal. I mean, it's got loud guitars, and it's, you know, the Motorhead one was just like a synthesizer.
Yeah.
You know, kind of a orchestral background, but it still has the same feeling. You know, it's got a really great feeling.
And if anything, they added to the feeling of that song quite a bit, because they did go with that more epic, more kind of orchestral score, especially ramping up towards the end.
Yeah.
And there's one that you didn't mention in here that I thought was really cool. They did another one about the Swedes as a single fairly recently, the Royal Guard.
Oh, yeah. I missed that.
500th anniversary of the King's Lifeguard.
I missed the image for it, yes. I wanted to play, I do have a couple of clips. I think it'd be nice to play a little video clip at this point, give our voices a break.
Yeah, I bet a number of metalheads have passed history because of this band.
They've passed something, that's for sure.
Right?
Let's see, let's play a little bit of this. This is stuff that I managed to check copyright wise. That's because it's all oops, sorry. So this one, copyright stuff's a bugger when you're doing this. This is Soldier of Heaven.
The ice is snow that binds me to this mountain. I'm force of nature too strong and powerful. When spirits lead the way of winds, when you fade, when fighting, I'll take the way you have. I'll stay high when the night, I'll be immortal forever. I never, I won't return to the mountains. I am the soldier of heaven.
So a little taste of Soldier of Heaven.
Speaking of rarely talked about military engagements, the Sanzo front of World War I.
I've learned so much. I mean,
How do we forget the Italians and Austrians were even fighting?
That's right. The Italians, the Austrians, the Hungarians, they were all in there. Let's have a little bit of, just for fun, I could even put my hat back on.
Uh-oh.
But Swedish Pagans.
That redneck Viking.
This is from the gig I was at. Tweak it a bit for Yeah, so just a couple of clips that managed to pass the filters, albeit with a bit of tweaking. But yeah,
Got to mess with it a little bit. Got to transform it.
All the ones that show the really, I mean, I did manage to sneak a few clips in the montage of their real stage set when they've got real shit going on. But
yeah,
kind of an aside about Soldier of Heaven. I'm currently writing a big D&D module for high level, and the inspiration actually comes from music from 3 bands, and Soldier of Heaven's one of them. The other 2 bands are Brothers of Metal and Hammerfall.
Oh, wow. Right. Wow.
Very cool.
Good stuff, mate. Yeah, good for you. Okay, so let's talk about some songs. I know we mentioned some of them already, but I got to give you some of my favorites. As I say, I could have picked 10 other ones, or I could have picked 10 other ones on top of that. But it's nice to just... in fact, I'll lead off with, and they're not in particular order. I'll actually talk about one I have to include just because it's the Scottish one. I'm being partisan.
I love the channel, man. Full Metal Haggard.
That's the YouTube channel that took this, and he did a great job. Check his channel out, everybody. He's got some great clips. Full Metal Haggard.
How'd you like to be in that crowd, man? Wow.
In Glasgow, in Scotland.
Now, John and Brian, when you went and saw these guys live, was it general admission on the floor like this?
It was seated, but everybody stood up.
Yeah.
I always go general admission if I can.
I was fixing to say, man. I wouldn't do it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
A third of the crowd left as soon as Sabaton was there.
Wow. Really? Oh.
Yeah, I want to go back to that.
Yep. Look at all the phones. Hey, that's what freaks me out. You know, back when I was young and I went to general admission concerts, I used to stand on the floor, but I was back there by the engineer's booth. That's where I hung out at.
So there was no,
you know,
I mean, a lot of people were standing, but it was, everyone did have an assigned seat. I actually sat not on, it was just like a hockey arena, but, you know, that kind of barn. There were seats in the ground, but everybody stood up. But I was on the first level of the bit at the back because I wanted to be in a position to take pictures and see the whole stage. And I'm short, so if I'm on the ground, I don't see anything because everyone's taller than me.
Really? Oh,
so if I sit there, I get the best view. No one's sitting in front of me, and I can see over everyone's heads. So
really?
And it's not that big a barn, so the sound was fine. John, what were you saying about people leaving?
Yeah, the first time I went, we were in St. Louis, and about a third of the crowd left when Sabaton finished.
Jeez.
And during the, I thought maybe, there's just a bunch of people going to the bathroom or getting food or whatever. No, they didn't come back for the start of Judas Priest. Like,
wow.
Sacrilege.
I mean,
sorry, Beth.
What? It's true that I spoke to a lot of guys in Billings that were there to see Sabaton because they'd seen Priest a number of times. None of them left. I mean, it was the only show in town that month or whatever. They weren't going anywhere. They were going to watch the whole damn thing. So that's a bit sad, you know?
Yeah. Now, the second time I went, when I went to Kansas City, Independence, it's outside of Kansas City. I don't think very many people left at all. So. Yeah.
I mean, Sabaton were very well received, I have to say, in the gig I was at. People were there and everyone knew them. But everyone did stay for Priest, and Priest got a great reception too. So weird, eh? I mean, you've paid the money. Why not? Why would you leave? Just watch it, you know? Anyway, Blood of Bannockburn is one of my favorites, just because of the subject matter from the Last Stand album. Another track I love, and everyone feel free to chuck their favorite ones in the chat and all that good stuff. And another one of mine that I really love is the track Metal Trilogy, which is on the B side of the Kingdom Come single. It's just kind of like old school metal but halfway through there's a fantastic solo, and then the tempo actually goes up so it goes like, it's kind of going along at this beat, and then it starts to get faster and faster, and it ends in this just kind of really great speed metal finish. So Metal Trilogy is one that, because it's on a B-side, it's a little trickier to find, but it's a bloody good song. Yeah,
that's a solid one.
Oh, that's tiny. Christmas Truce. I know it's a cliche because it's of the subject matter, but it is a track that I do love, and because I get emotional with stuff like that. It's weird.
It's one of the greatest moments in military history to study too. It's like one of the few of its kind.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it's this that kind of subject matter. I can put myself in the place of those guys. You know, there but for the grace of God, go us.
Yeah, I mean, I've been sort of in that situation.
Yeah. So, you know, and they were worse. They were drafted. Well, I mean, a lot of them volunteered early, but you know, a lot of them were drafted too. So, it's great, and the video is fantastic. So, and that's on the War to End All Wars.
And if you guys have ever played the World War I shooter Verdun, every year on Christmas Day they have a special game mode where instead of like trench warfare and all that, it's literally the Christmas truce where you run around, kick soccer balls, and throw snowballs at each other.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, as I said, they make them into little movies. These videos. And
it's super well produced movies too.
Oh, brilliant! The band are acting in it, and there's just I don't. It's so well done. It's done with such heart and emotion, and respect. It's you can't help but like it, you know.
And this song they were playing with, according to Joachim, for like 10 years. They always wanted to do it. Its story always fascinated them, but for whatever reason, the song just wasn't right, or the album wasn't right for it. And they just kept playing with it in the background, and finally they got it on this one, and it's phenomenal.
I think you'd have to feel it was the right time, and you could do it justice, you know, the subject matter. So I'm glad they did it.
Like I said, I was watching an interview with some YouTube channel that Joaquin was doing, and he he didn't realize the fact that he'd written a waltz.
Yeah.
Wow.
For this. And then like she mentions it, and he's like counting it out, and he says like, "Holy shit! Yeah, you're right."
Yeah. So
I figured out which song it was that Trump meme's coming off of, and lo and behold, it's the one we were talking about. It's the name of the album. It's the title track. It's Calorus Rex.
Yeah, Calorus Rex. Yeah,
that's the name of that's the song that they use in that thing.
Yeah, good one. That's I didn't know that was being used for that.
Yeah.
So another track I love is another B-side, kind of, or an extra track. It's called Harley from Hell. It's a bonus track on Carolus Rex if you get the bonus track version, and it's on a compilation as well. Check it out if you haven't got it. Go listen to it on YouTube. You'll think you're listening to 1970s peak Rainbow. It's that kind of
really
metal. Yeah, it sounds like Kill the King. It's like you would think it's a different band almost. It's not. You can still hear Sabaton, but it's not, because it's just straightforward speed metal. But it rocks hard. So Harley from Hell is another one of my favorites.
And I love when bands show you that other side of them too. Like, you know, obviously Sabaton sings about military history. There's not a lot of room for fun with that.
Yes.
But then they have like their B-sides and some of their bonus tracks that you get to see a little bit more of their fun, kind of goofy side, which they show off on tour constantly.
Yeah, it's a fun. Harley from Hell's a fun track. I wish it's the sort of thing I wish they would play live. You know, it just rocks hard.
Anybody in camo that's playing with a Hello Kitty guitar, they've got a sense of humor, no doubt.
Oh, they've got a great sense of humor. They're all just good guys. They seem like great guys. 1916. Of course, we talked about before. It's another one that you cannot watch without or listen to without feeling the emotion. And if you watch the video at the end with the description of the lives that were lost and the futility of it, but the video is great because it has all sorts of races and colors and eras.
Yeah, they've gone out of their way to portray not only the major powers, but everyone who fought in that war, from the colonial troops to the minor nations that fought.
Yeah. And they've also got everyone paying kind of homage to that by walking down the streets. All the different, you know, they've got the punks and the goths and the whatever. It's all the metal fans.
And they even went out of their way to actually get the proper American flag for the World War I period, the 48-star flag.
Yeah. It's quite interesting that I didn't realize that. You know. So it's a great track. From the Stories from the Western Front EP. Motorhead are in it. Well, Lemmy's picture is held up, but
and I think Mickey D and Phil Campbell are both in the video.
Oh, they're in it. They're in the parade, and they hold up the Lemmy's picture. Bismarck, another one from of the First World War era. the World of Warships one, as I call it, the Great Show LP. It's funny when you think, if you listen to the lyrics, you would never think anyone could ever write a song about the ship, the Bismarck, and make it sound so good. It's awesome.
And this one's musically very interesting because the main riff for it is actually the Hellion from Judas Priest.
Well,
just with a couple of embellishments.
Does
Those
sound a
are
bit
identical.
like that. Yes, it sounds a little. It's like the Red Baron always reminds me of Uriah Heep, Easy Living.
Yep.
Easy Living.
But when you learn to play this on guitar, it's literally the same riff, just with a couple of flourishes.
So
wow.
It's really cool.
That's one of my favorite guitar solos ever. The Hellion's awesome. Look, I can't listen to Electric Eye without listening to the Hellion first.
Of course, they're the same song. There's no distinction between them.
No distinction. Yep.
Yeah, that's the video 11 Alphas, right? It's got people from it's got people that are not First World War era. It's got soldiers and it's got Spartans. It's got
you see a samurai in there.
They're all in there,
which is cool because if you've never seen their older stuff, that's really jarring. But then you kind of go back and like, oh, that's why that guy's in there.
Yeah, it's kind of like a collection of their greatest hits in terms of stories.
And also symbolically, it's really cool in that it's, basically the warriors of World War I taking their place among their forebears as, the warriors of their generation.
Yes. Exactly, yeah. And so Bismarck's great. It's a powerful track. Then, of course, there's everyone's favorite, the Red Baron, which has got like 6 different videos. There's the animated one. There's the Lego one, which I'd love to have shown. The Lego one's awesome.
I was just mad that Snoopy's not in any of them.
Yeah,
right.
What
the hell, man?
It's funny they don't call it Lego. It's building bricks or building blocks. But the Red Baron, that's my last. I think I have a clip of the Red Baron, so let's play that now. Will I remember?
That's the crowd participation song.
Yeah, as at the beginning, he says, "We want you to sing along. It's one word: higher." That's it. Yeah. So yeah, Red Baron.
They must be having a good time touring with Priest. They must be having a good time with those.
It's got to be surreal because they've spent their entire lives worshiping that band, and all of a sudden they're on the same stage,
right?
Yeah. Wow. The Carolean's Prayer.
Such a great fucking song, especially the organ piece in the beginning.
Yeah, I listened to this one a lot from Carolus Rex. Long live King Charles XII. That's what I say. It's a great track. Check it out.
Looks like I may have to get this friggin' album.
Oh, you'll love this album.
It's kind of funny that for a guy who's not religious like me, a ton of the songs that I really kind of focus in on records end up having those either kind of a church organ sound or just a religious overtone. Like the Pilgrimage from Saxon is one of my favorites still.
There is that church cathedral sound to some of the tracks.
Yeah.
Cathedral organ. You can picture them being in an old cathedral with a guy in armor kneeling at the altar with a big sword. It's that kind of thing. Primo Victoria, partly for the subject matter, I absolutely love this song. It's they having an uncle that was landed in Normandy on D-Day. I feel it,
right?
Music.
Yeah,
it's a great track.
Yeah. Did they? I got to. This is going to be a silly question, just because the story we always tell in our family is that my grandfather was with Patton at the Battle of the Bulge. Did they sing a lot about World War II? Did they sing about that battle at all? Or?
Screaming Eagles is about is about obviously the 101st Airborne at Bastogne, but they go into the Battle of the Bulge.
Not yet.
Okay.
But they could probably do a whole album on that.
Right. Yeah.
So and another one, it's a short list of mine. I mean, as I say, I could have picked 10 others. Ghost Division, which is possibly my absolute favorite track, just because I mean, who sings about a Panzer division?
Right.
It's,
Right.
But the way he gets it to rhyme and the lyrics are just outstanding. But yeah, I mean, you'll be able to tell me all about the Ghost Division. Isn't it the 7th Panther Division nickname? Erwin Rommel. He's gone. Pope's gone.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
It's Rommel's crew.
Yes, that was 7th Panzer Division.
And they ended up the Eastern Front, of course, towards the end of the war. But
yeah, unfortunately for them, I don't know who they pissed off to get that duty, but
yeah, it's just a great track. I mean, you listen to it, you think that guy's singing about a Panzer division.
Yeah, and this was, I think, the first time I saw them live. This was their intro to their set, and it was like the most, Swedish intro I've ever heard. Where it's like, hello, we are Sabaton. We are from Sweden, and this is Ghost Division.
This is great. Yeah, it's
just, and then just launch into it, no preamble whatsoever.
Yeah. So that was 10, but I had some extras. I had some bonus tracks. Soldier of Heaven, which the video is great for. The video really tells the story really well. War to End All Wars album. Great story. Soldier of Heaven. He's frozen there in time.
Yep.
The
artwork on this stuff is amazing. I got to tell you guys. I mean, the music's great.
Yeah. The version of Status Quo's In the Army Now, which originally was a kind of a cheesy track, turns into actually something quite meaningful, and especially the way Joachim sings it. He's got that right raspy vocal on it. If you know, you guys might not know the Status Quo, the British band, but it was when they were well into their cheesy hit single period, not a rock band anymore. So it's the last track I would have thought anyone would cover, but the subject matter is correct. So, and then To Hell and Back, we did mention the Audie Murphy story, really. But so those are some of my favorites. I guess there's tons more we could have covered.
That's the thing with this band, is the deeper and deeper you dig into the albums, the better they get.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, is there if they were to pick one or two others, guys? I mean, what would you pick as ones that should be on someone's playlist if it was the first time?
Well, in terms of like a different sound for them, I would pick probably Counter-Strike, because it's a lot more speed metal than their other stuff, or Wolfpack.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, John, any others that you...
Well, my top three
in
order are Shuriyama, Night Witches, and Lady in the Dark.
Yeah, all three are fantastic.
Yeah.
And my favorite cover, I love their cover of For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Oh, that one's brilliant, yeah.
That is actually, I've forgotten about that, yeah. But that, I mean, this just goes to show you the range that this band has. Everybody could pick 10 different songs, and it doesn't mean the other 10 are bad that the other guy picked.
Yeah.
There's just so many, which is...
And then when you listen to the other person's list, it's like, oh, I should have added that one.
Yeah.
Right? Damn it, I forgot about that one.
I mean, in terms of the ones we haven't covered really yet, The Last Stand, the song itself, is one of my all-time favorites, and it's a great story as well.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, there's so many good ones. I always do. I do appreciate the history thing. Now, I actually missed this last year because it was showing in a museum in Calgary, and I missed it. Well, I was still in the throes of my back issues before I wasn't going anywhere before my operation. But so last year they made an animated movie with some appearances from the band and some other stuff in there, which I don't think I haven't been able to find a full copy of it. It's like 67 minutes, but they did it specifically for their History Rocks project, and they showed it in a couple of hundred museums around the world.
Yep.
Between November 9th and 20, over the period of remembrance. Remembrance Day, and so over the November 11th period, and I think it got really well received. I mean, it's an incredible thing to do. Have a project history rocks in the first place, but the War to End All Wars, the movie. Now, in actual fact, we're going to watch the trailer because it's one that's doesn't get you copyright struck, I guess.
Wow!
So we're going to watch the
something
trailer.
we can actually watch. Cool.
Yeah.
Your Majesty, this is a message that I need you to see. Tell everyone this must
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So you can see some of the videos, the animated videos are used on YouTube on their channel. They're talking still about how to get the whole movie out, given it was for a specific project and in museums, war museums everywhere.
Yeah.
But even just that looks good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Great project. Yeah. Of course.
Every time I see that visual of a soldier stuck in the barbed wire, all I can think of is that scene in Legends of the Fall where Brad Pitt's trying to save his brother. And it's just, I couldn't imagine that the kind of warfare that went on in World War I is just, what the technology outpaced the people. And
this is John's footage.
Well, I don't want to get you struck. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Awesome stuff. Yeah, it was a kick-ass opener. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I've also got like the March of the Dead Men.
Yeah, the opening with Ghost Division is just awesome.
But I've also got, if I can.
Other bands would die to close their set with that song.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
And they're opening with that shit. What the hell?
Oh, hang on. I'm going to close.
Oh, sorry.
I'll close that one, and then show
This is Hearts of Iron, the first soundtrack. They've got two soundtracks. These are the tracks on the first one, which is Hearts of Iron, Prima Victoria, Stalingrad, Wolfpack, and Night Witches.
Okay.
And then the other, I bet you're not going to let me switch, is it? No.
And this is the soundtrack for a video game you're showing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a DLC you download.
Wow.
For the game. And the second one is a bigger soundtrack. Because they got more popular. Ghost Division, Resisting Bite, Coat of Arms, Uprising, Screaming Eagles, 40-1, Peds Are Comp, Smoking Snakes, To Hell and Back, and The Last Battle.
Nice.
Wow.
That's Hearts of Iron TV. Yeah, actually, the Sabaton's YouTube channel right now, they've got live 24/7. They're just playing every track, every video of it, and every track.
Yeah.
You know, you could just drop in any time if you want to just sample stuff. It's pretty neat. Well, that's good, John. Thanks for sharing that. And so tomorrow I'm going to. I wish I could show the trailer for it, but it just kept getting copyright claimed. And so this is where I'll be tomorrow night. 7 p.m. Mountain Time is seeing this in the cinema, which will be great because it's the full stage show. You can see a lot of these clips on YouTube already, but this is the full movie of the tour, to end all tour. So that'll be fun. I'll do a little video. I'll do a little video about that.
I'll just have to settle with buying it when it comes out.
Well, I'll do that too, but I thought, you know what? I have the chance to go. I don't get to go to the cinema often. I'm going to go to this one thing.
That's what you do now. You know, the movie guy will tell you this. Yeah. I don't go to every movie. I go to the ones that I want to see, the stuff that I want to see in a big screen. And if you're a fan of that band, I'm sure you want to go see that on a big screen. Yeah.
It looks great. If you look at the trailer, it's a quality production.
Yeah.
And it's one time slot, one cinema. So I got to go.
Well, it's like a Fathom event, I'm sure. It's one showing.
They do cruises like a lot of bands. I would love to go on one of those in the Baltic.
Oh my God! Really? Wow!
In the winter as well. I love the artwork though.
That's crazy. A jellyfish sucking this boat down, huh?
Sabaton. Be fun.
I will just have to settle for taking that and going into Toomey Auditorium when nobody's using it and cranking it up to 11 and watching it on the big screen.
Oh, do that. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. It's good. It's good to be the IT at a college, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
This is some of the building blocks Red Baron video. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's like 8 minutes. It's really neat.
My gosh, everybody's got a helmet on or a service cap or something. Good Lord, that's great.
It's so good. Yeah,
kind of reminds me of if you guys have ever been on a Forgotten Weapons channel. Sometimes Ian will show up with a World War I cap or a pickle halb or something.
Yeah, that's you got to go watch the video the full video. And this is the Prima Victoria tank.
Yep. Actually voiced by the band too. Like they did the voice lines for the game.
Yeah, It's pretty neat. So yeah, I mean, there's tons more we could cover, but that was I'm exhausted. That's everything I've got. That's all I've got.
I was going to say, you could probably talk about this band all night. I know Pope could. That's for sure. Yeah.
Well, over on Rumble, if we were just on Rumble, we'd just start playing the videos and songs.
Oh yeah, play music all night. Yeah.
Thank you everyone that's in the chat in both Rumble and YouTube for sticking with us. Vince is posting links over on Rumble to some stuff like Sabaton's website, and
I'm finding out Vince is the greatest wrench.
He is a wonderful guy, and he's posting the trailer link and so on. So thank you, Vince, for doing all that stuff over there. I appreciate it very much, mate. Big Bad Wolf is over there too. Davina was over in Rumble. Yeah. Well, check Pope's Rumble stream out he did on Sabaton.
Yes. That was actually back in my YouTube days. I still did that one. And then I'll probably do another one. Probably won't be stream because streaming to Rumble gets interesting from time to time. But I'll definitely be doing more videos on them as things go along.
Yeah. So thank you to everybody in the chats. Thanks to everybody on the YouTube chat for all your stuff you have been posting. I hope you've enjoyed this look at this wonderful band as much as we could show for copyright reasons. I think we covered a lot of good ground. Thanks to the mods, Davina and D-Bud Martin and anyone else that's been modding. And thanks to everyone for their support in this new time slot. I think it worked out all right, you know. It was the only night I had off from live streaming. Now I've put a show in it, so
oops.
Thank you to Courtney for being here earlier. She had to drop out, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but,
it's a shame she had to leave,
yeah,
man.
it's the wonderful. And I'm sorry, Imp had to work, so he's going to miss some of these. Unfortunately, our good friend Imperitus, but hopefully he'll make it to some. So, thank you to you guys, though. So let's go around the houses, and you can plug your wares. Pope, my friend, what have you got going on?
Well, first up, tomorrow night, I'll be doing a special of my usual Midnight Mass show over on Rumble, where we basically have a 2-hour radio show. I actually have a guest coming on for that show. Figure it's Halloween, and who better to celebrate that with than our resident goth expert, Writing Raven. So
Nice.
she's going to be over on my channel. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of Halloween-themed metal, and then playing the soundtrack for Nightmare Before Christmas. So that should be a really fun show. And then every Saturday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, you can catch me over there for our usual Midnight Mass content, which is just a 2-hour radio show of stuff I'm listening to, classics, stuff, bands that I think don't get appreciated enough, and some new stuff as well. So hopefully you guys will join me for that. And then I think the next one me and Christian DeLorme are doing is going to be CCR over on his channel. So that should be great.
Man, great stuff. Yeah.
It was one of the earlier streams we did on this channel, actually.
Yeah, and actually the first one I ever streamed with Christian.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good one with Christian because he's a big fan of that band.
I mean, that's his favorite band ever.
Yeah. I mean, on Gilded, didn't he call himself that?
Yep.
Something like that.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks, Pope, buddy. Appreciate it very much you being here. Appreciate your insight, and thank you for turning me on to this band in the first place a few years ago.
No problem, man. The more Sabaton fans in the world, the better.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got me converted. Joe, my friend, tell us what you're up to.
Oh, man, just the usual. I tell you, you guys made me a fan of this band from the opening montage. I really enjoy it. And now knowing that they're military oriented, and of course the anthem sound of their band, it always turned me on. So I'm going to have to buy some of their stuff and check it out. For myself, just go to the channel, check out the schedule. I will say that we're not having Papa Joe Gamer After Dark on Tuesday. It's election night, and I'm going to do a live reaction to the polls and everything. I'm not going to be on during the whole evening. I'm going to do it at 10 in my regular time slot on Tuesday, but it's going to be, covering everybody's reaction to it. I'll probably pull up some clips of different channels and some of the things I've seen during the polling. So, you guys get out and vote. Do want to tell you that, but just the regular lineup. And next Wednesday, we just got done with the Halloween celebration. Took 3 weeks to do, but we got it all done tonight. And next week on State of the Atmosphere, the show before this one, we're going to be doing all the November movies that are being released. So come check it out. And thanks for the time, Brian. I always love hanging out with you.
Thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate it very much. Good to see you. Joe, my friend, John, my friend, it's great to see you back.
Yeah, finally worked out. I'm always working when we're having it on Mondays.
I know, so I'm so glad that you can make the show again whenever you're free. What are you up to, my friend?
Well, on Fridays, and specifically this Friday, I am starting Fallout Tale of Two Wastelands, which is a mod that combines Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas in the same engine. It's all in the New Vegas engine. You start in Fallout 3 and you'll play the same character all the way through.
I got to play that.
New Vegas, including all the DLCs.
Nice.
So I start that on Friday. I took and did the opening on my own and recorded it, and we'll watch that. It's like a 27-minute video of what, I've got the important stuff that I picked.
Yeah. His co-host gave him a heads up, said it's going to be kind of boring to do that live. So he did it and edited it down for time's sake, because it probably would have taken most of the show.
Yeah. So it took me an hour and 15 minutes or so to get through the opening. So, and I've done it like a couple of dozen times. Mm-hmm. So
That's going to take you a while to play with those.
Oh yeah, it's probably going to be at least a good 2 years for me to finish everything.
I might start that myself then, because that's two of my all-time. New Vegas is my all-time favorite game, and I could see myself getting absorbed in that as you've described it. So yeah. And of course, you in Fallout New Vegas, the late lamented Chris Christopherson has a part. So
yes.
Amongst a few other people that are probably gone by now. Yeah, that'd be fun. So watch out for that on. I'll just throw that link up again. There we go.
Pop Culture Minefield, 8:00 on Fridays Central Time.
Yeah. But also, John, it's on the Real Daswolfen. So, as for me, as I say, tomorrow night I'm going to the Sabaton movie, so I'll probably do a video about that Friday night. I'll probably be on the Ascendant Art channel with Brahma and those guys. Saturday night, Bourbon and Boarding, which, as I'm the only fan of a decent hockey team in this show right now, I'm just kidding.
Pope, you go ahead. You watch it more than I do. Go ahead.
So Bourbon and Boarding Saturday night with Brahma. And I don't yet know what we're going to do next week. It's next Wednesday night. I have to get used to doing shows on Wednesday. I don't know how much people will be interested in my show, given everything else that's going on next week. But I was thinking of talking about Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
That'd be a good one.
Come on, bro.
We've been doing.
Come on, bro.
We've been doing great with the sci-fi stuff too. Like
we have
one on Dark Star. So
the comedy crew needs to get together and do that one, bro.
I think Cult Comedy Crew. And let's do a big one. Let's do Holy Grail.
Everybody go get you some coconut shells. Let's go. Come on.
Yes, well, that's the sort of blinkered Philistine pig ignorance I've come to expect from you non-creative garbage.
I thought was it you that put up the picture at the grocery store of the what was it?
Monty Python.
What did it say? The Monty Python hooves or something like that?
Horse or something. Yeah.
I can't remember what it said.
Monty Python.
It was great. It was awesome. Yeah. It was just coconut halves. It was great.
Anyway, run away. So I think we might have been.
Got to. We could sit there and talk in quotes the whole show. Not even use our own lingo. You kidding me?
Python. So maybe they'll give us all a laugh, because it'll be a serious time.
So. Great.
So anyway, look out for that news on that. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for enjoying my Halloween costume at the beginning. If those who saw it, that will never happen again. I promise you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you all again soon. So keep on rocking, everybody. Take care. Direct our friend Zach, so stick around. You'll be shunted over to Zach's channel.